That's the meaning of Luke 10:42. One thing is needful. Sit and listen, and you'll accomplish a lot more that way. And as I looked around as a young man in my early 30s, that's more than 50 years ago, around 50 years ago, I observed different people in doing Christian work in India. And I read about it in other places. I hadn't traveled anywhere else. And I saw one or two people that I admired who did a fantastic work for the Lord. They didn't waste their time. They would go here and they'd plant a church. I mean, the Lord would plant a church through them. And then they wouldn't go anywhere here and there and there. They wouldn't be just like wandering preachers waiting for an invitation and just going where get an invitation and then get another invitation, go over there. No, I was not impressed with that. That way you become famous, you make a lot of money, and you become a famous international deeper life preacher or something like that. I did that for 3-4 years. It was very frustrating. I mean, you get a lot of honor, you make money, but inwardly you backslide. But I saw these other people who would wait on the Lord, and the Lord tells them, go there. Sometime later, there's a church there. Some years later, the Lord told them to go there. And I said, Lord, that's the way I want to serve. I don't want to waste my life. I've only one life. And I don't want the end of another 50 years to be known as a great international preacher. In fact, as I was rising in the Christian world sphere those days, getting more and more known, the Lord told me to give it up. And I remember that time in 1975, when all over India, people knew me as a well-known speaker and invited me here and there. The Lord said, quit it. Martha, you are distracted about many, many things. That's not what I want you to do. My dear brothers, let me give you my testimony. 45 years ago, the Lord told me to quit that. I'd left my job 54 years ago, 1966. But after 9 years of this type of becoming an international preacher, the Lord said, quit it. It's what most people don't do. When you're rising in fame, most people say, hey, this is great. I can now become world famous. But somehow the Lord told me, quit. And as I look back now, boy, am I thankful that I quit. And meet with 5 or 6 people in my house. That's how we started. And people would come and go. And in the eyes of others, it was the most stupid thing to do. Like Moses going into the wilderness. Okay. And we also didn't know at that time where we were going to go. But I tried to listen. I would sit with my Bible in the morning and hear what God is trying to say to me. And this word kept coming back. I remember one birthday of mine, November 5th, one of those years. I said, Lord, do you have a word for me? And the Lord said, what I told you in the beginning. One thing is needful. And this is what now recently in this last 1 month, I said, Lord, have you got a word for me? The Lord said, go back to what I told you 61 years ago. One thing is needful. I want to hear it more and more, to sit at his feet and listen to his word. If the one thing needful was preaching, many of you would be incapable of doing it. Women would be at a handicap. People who are not good in language or limited would be at a handicap. You can say, oh, Brother Zach's got some gift of speaking. No, I don't have. God gave it to me. But maybe God doesn't give it to you. What do you do then? You envy somebody else in NCCF who can preach well and better than you? Don't. You want to envy somebody? Envy the man who hears God clearly. And you will see that in a transformed life. Through the years, that's what's helped me. I've heard a lot of great preachers, and I'll tell you honestly, I do not envy any of them. In my young, immature days, I wanted to preach like some of them. I gave it up. The Lord said, you are unique. Don't be like anybody else. Just listen to me. And if you're a woman, who made you a woman? Did you choose that? God made you because he's got a specific ministry for you. It was to a woman, Mary. It was to a woman, Jesus said, one thing is needful. She was the one who sat at Jesus' feet. It's a woman who taught me, Mary, who taught me to sit at Jesus' feet. So don't think your sisters have no ministry. Your example can bless others. Mary was not a great preacher, but look at that one word. That example of hers has blessed me for 60 years. Example of a woman. So don't you sisters think that you don't have any ministry. Listen to God. Listen to God. Hear, the one who hears God